New York City, January 31st, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez. I always say it, when boxing gets it right, no other sport comes close. And this is boxing getting it right. The best fighting the best. Both fighters believe that this matchup settles the argument about who leads the new era. So what do we think of the Styles matchup, guys? This is a high-speed chess match a la Sugar Ray Leonard or Pernell Whitaker, Leonard and Benitez, or yes. Pernell Whitaker, Buddy McGirt, or is it a Jerry versus Jerry fight, right? Because no one wants to take the lead, or is it something else? Malik, I'll start with you.
I think it's a very special fight. It's the type of matchups we always are asking for. When it comes to explosiveness, I would have to go with Teo.
Stylistically, man, how does Shakur beat Teo and vice versa? Stylistically, how does Teo beat Shakur?
Stylistically, Teo got to go in and go for broke. He got to go gamble, he got to take some, get some, and that's just the only way to win.
I think you're going to need a couple of rounds, but the first round is going to be very interesting. Maybe you see some tails, but I think maybe 2 or 3 you're going to start seeing one lead the other.
Experienced voices from the boxing world are raising concerns as Shakur Stevenson prepares for a showdown with Teofimo Lopez. Many insiders feel this decision carries serious risk and could end up hurting Stevenson more than helping him. The main issue isn't skill. Almost everyone agrees Shakur is one of the most technically gifted fighters in the sport. The worry centers on the weight class. Moving up to 140 pounds introduces a different kind of challenge, where natural size, physical strength, and raw explosiveness often outweigh finesse and precision. Veterans who've gone through similar transitions warn that adding weight doesn't always translate smoothly. There's fear Stevenson could lose some of the speed and fluid footwork that make him so effective, potentially looking less sharp than usual. Meanwhile, Teofimo Lopez is already comfortable at this weight and known for thriving on power, quickness, and physical pressure, advantages that could play a major role once the bell rings.
Because I don't think that, maybe, Shakur might show some different, if he has to go after Teofimo, he might show some different type of heart that we haven't seen, or different type of fighting we haven't seen, and vice versa, whereas Teofimo's hitting him with different shots off the angle, that is kind of giving, Shakur Stevenson trouble. We'll see about that. So we just don't know.
Yeah, the thing is I think people overlook of Teofimo is he can box when he wants to. Like, he's shown he has a slick style too when he wants to do that.
When he wants to do that. So if you have a slick style and you got power and you got the speed too, yeah. And you're fighting at 140, so let's see. I don't know if Shakur Stevenson's going to get slower moving up in weight or not, where Teofimo can hit him. Maybe he was really fast at 130, 26-30, maybe 35, but 40, you put on a little bit more weight. I think that he holds the weight probably really, really good, but you just don't know.
Yeah, and then, okay, let me put this scenario. What if it's the Teofimo that beat Lomachenko? What if that Teofimo shows up?
Like I said, at Lomachenko, it's a not easy fight. Teofimo was able to be in the ring with different type of fighters and figure it out. The fighters that Shakur Stevenson was in with, they couldn't figure it out, or get close to figuring it out. Whereas Teofimo had to figure out that type of style, and Lomachenko is a hard fight to fight. So that's why this fight is so interesting. And for Shakur Stevenson to move to 140 to fight him is definitely a hats off to him.
Do you have a favorite on paper in that fight at all, Shane?
I believe it's 50-50. It's a fight that I just have to sit down and watch and just want to see.
A growing number of respected figures in boxing are favoring Teofimo Lopez heading into this matchup, and their confidence isn't based on buzz or fan opinion. Trainers and former fighters see clear physical advantages working in Lopez's favor, particularly when facing a highly skilled but naturally smaller opponent like Shakur Stevenson. Observers often point to Teofimo's explosive athleticism, his quick bursts, sharp timing, and ability to generate fight-changing power early in bouts. These qualities, they argue, can swing momentum in an instant. While Shakur earns widespread praise for his defensive mastery and high ring intelligence, some insiders believe Lopez's strength and physical pressure could interrupt Shakur's usual flow and pull him into exchanges he'd rather avoid. Lopez's comfort and experience at junior welterweight, along with his history of performing on championship stages, have led many professionals to view him as the fighter better built for this contest. Over 12 rounds, they feel his physical presence could become a deciding factor. Analyst Max Kellerman has also noted that the stakes are uneven. Stevenson enters with a polished reputation and an unbeaten record to protect, which adds pressure. Lopez, by contrast, steps in with less expectation and more upside, making him a dangerous and unpredictable opponent with everything to gain.
But Teo's, he's a very special athlete. And as a competitor, he is one of those guys who saves his A game for a fellow elite opponent. That's when he really rises his game and shows us the Teofimo Lopez that everybody thought he was when he was a prospect. People used to look at him and say, oh, this guy is going to be the star in boxing. It didn't really play out that way, but every now and then he reminds us how special he is.
Teofimo is a two-division Ring Magazine champion. In both fights where he won the Ring Magazine championship, he was the underdog. 4-1 underdog against Lomachenko. People forget, Lomachenko was taking elite fighters in the lower divisions and they were quitting.
Yes.
He was beating them into some, they were like, I can't do this, right? And Teofimo beat him. Right, he outboxed him.
Yeah, he didn't do it by physically imposing himself on him.
He outboxed him, he outfought him, he had speed, power, and then again, against Josh Taylor at junior welterweight, he was the underdog, so he saves his best for his biggest moments.
Yes, and Max, and look, I give Shakur a lot of credit, right, because we see fighters like Bruce Ennis that want to do a tune-up fight at their first fight at the new weight, and like Devin Haney, Shakur's saying, I'll go right to the top dog at 140. So props to my best friend Shakur Stevenson, Max.
Yes.
But look,
What is the beef with you two?
I think it's fun, you know. I think we. I don't think it's real hate.
You have this ability to bring out a certain kind of animosity in people in the boxing world. Does this extend to outside the boxing world?
Yeah, it does.
Or
It does. I've had that ability since I've been like 4 years old, Max, and growing up. But look, you asked about Teo. I actually think this fight is about Teofimo more than it is about Shakur Stevenson. And the reason I say that.
Both Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez enter the January 31st clash with world-class abilities, which is why many within the boxing community view this fight as truly up for grabs. Rather than favoring one side heavily, insiders see a matchup where small adjustments could decide everything. Stevenson is widely respected for his technical precision, elite defense, and sharp ring awareness, making him one of the hardest fighters in the sport to consistently connect with. On the other side, Lopez brings explosive power, high-level athleticism, and proven experience at 140 pounds, tools that could quickly turn the fight in his favor if he finds his moments.
I'll start with you.
I think it's a very special fight. It's the type of matchups we always are acting for. When it comes to explosiveness, I would have to go with Teo. When it comes to actual rapid speed, I would have to go with Teo. But when it comes to body punching, when it comes to good timing, when it comes to craft, I would have to give all of that to Shakur Stevenson.
What do you think, Doug?
They're both boxers. I look at Stevenson as a versatile technician. I look at Teofimo. He's a boxer puncher, but his specialty is his counter punching. Listen, if Stevenson wants to be on his stick and move game, very difficult style matchup for Teofimo, and maybe not that entertaining to the fans.
Because Stevenson's longer.
Exactly.
Stevenson's defense probably the best in the game, and he's longer.
Great reflexes and timing, and so does Teo.
Analysts such as Andre Ward suggest this matchup could be decided by the finest details. On a night like this, execution, timing, conditioning, and composure under pressure may matter more than raw ability. From a stylistic standpoint, there's very little separating these two at the elite level, which makes the outcome especially difficult to predict. Both fighters possess top-tier skill sets, and many believe the result will depend on who looks sharper and more disciplined once the fight unfolds. That's why Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez is often described as a high-level chess match, where strategy, energy management, and precise timing could tip the scales. Lopez is known for starting aggressively, using explosive movements, quick counters, and bursts of pressure in the early stages. Some observers question whether he can maintain that pace deep into a 12-round fight, as any drop in output during the championship rounds could give Stevenson an opening to take control. On the other hand, if Stevenson spends the early rounds gathering information and gives up too much ground on the scorecards, he may be forced to increase his offense later, which could lead to a fast-paced and dramatic finish. If Lopez falls behind early instead, Stevenson could find his rhythm, tighten his defense, and steer the fight toward a clear decision victory.
I don't think that Shakur is going to come out and try to fight or take the fight to Teo in the first 6 rounds at all. So if he's fighting off the back foot, if Teo can make it so that he's convincingly, or he's convinced at least Shakur that he may have won 4 of the first 6 rounds, you know, if it's 4-2 in Shakur's mind going into the second half of the fight, or if I'm looking at him stealing those first 6 rounds, then it's an interesting fight going into the tail end, because Teo, to me, is a front runner, right? I want to see if he can carry his energy and his explosiveness late in the fight and not wear down. And then when Shakur starts to open up, you know, can you steal some of those championship rounds from him and make it like a close fight? I think if Teo comes out and does what he usually does, which is try to swarm Shakur early and keep Shakur on the defensive early, then he can try to steal a lot of those early rounds. And if he does that, then Shakur has to fight in the tail end of that fight. Now to make it real interesting. If I'm looking at the first 3 rounds, first 4 rounds, and Teo looks like he's losing those rounds convincingly, then it's an easy night for Shakur, unanimous decision in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Teo is going to bring anything late in the game, you know what I mean, to this fight. I think if he is who he's always been, you know, he's going to get gassed after like the 7th round and then take some rounds off. And when he does that, Shakur will open up and start to try to pick him apart, pot shot him, and do things like that. But this is the perfect fight, narrative-wise, for Shakur, because I've been waiting for Shakur to get into that fight where, you know, he doesn't have the fight where, he doesn't have his Diego Corrales fight, you know what I mean, where you think he's actually in danger. Shakur has been he's been outclassing everybody he's in the ring with. You know what I mean? Then the guys that you think could give him some work, like De Los Santos, I know people hate when I bring that fight up, but I want to see him act.
Many insiders feel that matchups like Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez are exactly what the sport needs at this moment. These are the kinds of fights that remind fans why boxing thrives when elite talents are willing to test themselves against one another. Hall of Fame champion Roy Jones Jr. has praised the contest as a true battle of skill versus skill, comparing its significance to other elite-level super fights such as Canelo against Crawford. According to him, bouts of this quality help restore both excitement and credibility to the sport. Experts also emphasize the appeal of seeing 2 accomplished fighters in their prime with sharply contrasting approaches. Stevenson's precision, discipline, and technical mastery matched against Lopez's power, intensity, and forward pressure create a high-risk, high-reward confrontation. It's the type of competitive collision that can capture attention, spark debate, and produce moments fans remember long after the final bell.
I'll win that night, and I'll be Teofimo.
Teo, did you learn anything staring down with him?
Yeah. I'm gonna beat him up. I'm gonna beat him up.
And we know at one point you contemplated retirement. Seems like you're in a good place now. You're active. Where are you at right now? Where are you feeling about your career?
Mentally, I'm in the Bahamas somewhere, having a coquito or something, bro. Although I don't drink a virgin one. But nah, man, I'm in a good space, bro. I'm happy. I'm content with everything that's going on. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you to His Excellency, Turkey Al-Sheikh, Sella, Madison Square Garden, the ring, so on and so forth, WBO.
Teofimo Lopez enters this fight with clear intensity and purpose as he prepares to face Shakur Stevenson. His confidence is unmistakable, and his message is direct. He expects to control the fight and showcase his power, skill set, and fight IQ inside the ring. Lopez's mindset reflects total commitment, leaving no room for doubt about his intentions on fight night. He has made it known that he has no intention of allowing Stevenson to take the title he fought so hard to earn. For Lopez, the belt symbolizes years of sacrifice, setbacks, and relentless effort. He speaks openly about the struggle behind the success, emphasizing that this moment was built through pain, discipline, and persistence. In his view, this bout is personal, a chance to defend everything he has worked for and prove that nothing he earned will be taken lightly or given away.
do it with love.
Yeah, inspire people in and out of the ring. And talking
Exactly.
of being in the ring,
Yes.
Shakur Stevenson, obviously you guys are both in Las Vegas. I'm hearing that you did link up today. A face-off happened between the two of you?
Yeah, face-off happened, things of that nature, just to create the things that are in motion already. So we're really adamant about fighting each other next, and I can't wait for us to really lace it up. And I see him across the ring, and really when that bell rings, lights out for him.
What's it like seeing him now kind of face to face? When you look at him, what do you see? Because obviously you're not locked in just yet, and the closer it gets to a fight, obviously things turn a little bit. But when you do look at Shakur, what do you think of him?
I think I don't think too much of it. I think that he believes in himself. That's one thing. But I'm here to destroy his dreams and all that he wants to do and become. You can't take this from me. I worked very hard for it. I've bled for this, and I'm not taking nothing from him, but I just believe that what's gonna happen next is for destiny in the boxing ring to decide.
How close is the fight between the two of you, and when could we kind of expect to see you two face each other?
I'm ready to fight. Honestly, I could fight tomorrow. I've been staying in the gym. I've been really serious about my work ethic, everything. I hear people say this and that, and those are naysayers. I've done very well for myself at just this short period in time. The fight should happen very soon, and as long as the people on that side, the business side of that side, I just like to fight.
Yeah.
So let's make it happen.
How frustrating is kind of the business side of boxing? Because obviously fighters, as you say, just want to get in the ring, but there's so many hurdles to go over before you get there. And we always hear of fights falling through, fights not happening. Ryan Garcia, for example. How frustrating is it for someone like you?
There's detours for a reason, right? There's sometimes roadblocks.
Meanwhile, Shakur Stevenson has been equally outspoken and confident in the lead-up to his showdown with Lopez. He's expressed strong belief in his preparation, noting how sharp and locked in he has felt throughout training camp. Stevenson believes he's ready to deliver a statement performance and surprise anyone who doubts him when the lights are brightest. While he has shown respect for Lopez's abilities, Stevenson has also made it clear that he plans to exploit openings and mistakes, using his own game plan to take control of the fight. Promoter Eddie Hearn has publicly backed Stevenson, describing the slick southpaw as one of the most overlooked elite fighters in the sport today. According to Hearn, many fans underestimate Shakur because his dominance isn't built on highlight reel knockouts but on superior fundamentals, intelligence, and defensive excellence. He points out that Stevenson's ability to manage distance, shut down dangerous opponents, and consistently win rounds makes him an extremely difficult matchup for anyone, regardless of weight class. Hearn also stresses that sustained success at the highest level requires a rare type of greatness, one that often doesn't receive the credit it deserves. In his view, Stevenson's discipline, resume, and technical mastery warrant far more respect from the boxing world.
Shakur is massively underrated in terms of his achievements and his ability. Everyone in boxing knows how good Shakur is. He is pound for pound, top 5 in terms of quality. But look at the achievements of the young man. At 28 years of age, he's already a 3-division world champion. This is to become a 4-division world champion. Quite remarkable. And Teofimo always rises to the occasion. Sometimes you see a little bit of a lackluster performance when he's not motivated, when there isn't kind of any legacy on the line. This is different. This is a sold-out Madison Square Garden between two of the elite fighters of our generation. And the best thing about this fight is...
Bruce Carrington has pointed out that one of Teofimo Lopez's toughest obstacles against Shakur Stevenson may be dealing with non-stop movement and unpredictability inside the ring. While Lopez is known for his athleticism, explosive bursts, and forward pressure, Carrington believes those strengths can be neutralized if he's unable to get set and find a steady rhythm. According to Carrington, Stevenson's footwork, patience, and distance control could become a major source of frustration. Lopez has previously faced similar challenges against mobile, elusive fighters, where his offense struggled to gain traction when opponents refused to stand still. In those situations, hesitation crept in, and that lack of clarity opened opportunities for the other fighter to take control. Carrington also emphasizes that Stevenson's defensive awareness and positioning make him one of the most difficult fighters in boxing to hit cleanly and consistently. For Lopez to be successful, he'll need to stay composed, make smart adjustments, and find effective ways to cut off the ring rather than chasing a constantly moving target.
So like Teo is gonna bring the fight. He's very athletic. You know, he has a lot of explosiveness, and but I do feel like when it comes to Shakur, bro, his movement may frustrate him. The only thing that worries me when it comes to Teofimo is his frustration. Like, is he going to be able to work well with a mover? You know, we've seen, you know, difficulties that he had with Sandor Martin. We've seen the difficulties that he had with Jimmy Ortiz, guys that's been moving around and not staying still. Like, if you keep Teo moving around and he can't plant his feet, what can he do? We're going to have to find that out on, you know, January 31st. And I think Shakur, he's probably one of the best guys to, you know, move his feet, be on defense, being hella patient and frustrating a fighter, bro. Like, so, I don't know. We've seen Teo get frustrated to the point where he's asking himself, do I still got it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got to see what his mentality is going to be like come January 31st.
Do you think that his experience on the biggest of stages, you know, his two biggest wins, he was an underdog, and those guys, ironically enough, were southpaws like Shakur. That play any factor to you, man?
Nah, styles is different. The styles are totally different. Lomachenko don't fight like Shakur. Josh Taylor don't fight like Shakur. Like I don't see, just because southpaw, that same thing will happen. I feel like certain techniques could be used to fight Shakur, yeah. But in terms of like that approach of the fight, nah. Like Shakur fights totally different. You gotta be able to do some out of pocket stuff with Shakur. You gotta throw while he's throwing. That's probably some of the only time.
Who do you see coming out on top? Shakur Stevenson's elite movement and ring intelligence, or Teofimo Lopez's power and explosiveness? Share your prediction in the comments.